party leader may be under police investigation. You'd expect this to dominate the headlines, but instead, the pliable and overtly left-leaning political press is fixated on less significant stories. Why is that? Let's dig deeper into the chaos and uncover what's really going on.
At the weekend, I took a microphone and a camera to a high street, and I spoke to a load of pensioners that, you know, some voted Labour, some didn't. But the anger out there is so high. They cannot believe what this government is doing. The optics is terrible. They are living the high life. Keir Starmer has had more freebies than any other MP over the last 5 years. I mean, after what he said in interviews and in Parliament, this is the biggest hypocrite in politics. It's such a bad look, and they are so out of touch with the normal people of this country. And I would have thought they would have given it a year or so, you know, before they decided to act like this. But it's after weeks. They've got.
Get ready for a whirlwind of accusations hitting the Labour Party. Power struggles and a crisis are reshaping the political landscape. What is happening behind closed doors? In today's video, we will uncover shocking truths about what is going on in the Labour Party. Ensure you watch this video till the end, because it is going to provide some groundbreaking information.
The Labour Party's ability to navigate the current crisis. The chaos is escalating, and rumours of even more shocking revelations in the coming days are only adding fuel to the fire. Each new headline sends shockwaves through Labour's ranks, while leadership scrambles to regain control of a situation that seems to be slipping further out of their grasp. Fractures within the Labour Party are becoming increasingly visible and concerning. Keir Starmer's leadership, once seen as a unifying force, is now under immense pressure. While some MPs continue to back him, emphasising the need for stability, others are openly questioning his ability to lead the party into the next election. Under the current leadership, the Labour Party appears to be heading in one direction, downwards. As long as Starmer remains in charge, the party faces serious challenges. His manifesto has misled many, provoking growing anger and disappointment.
Do you think it's acting within international law?
I think it's unwise for politicians to stand on stages like this or to sit in television studios and pronounce day by day which acts may or may not be in accordance with international law. I think it's not the role of politicians.
Is Vladimir Putin a war criminal?
Yes.
Yes.
What I've seen already amounts to war crimes, particularly the awful attacks on civilians. And I think it's very important that he's held to account and is responsible. And all those that are acting with him know that they too will be held to account. And this is something which we need to make clear now, so that those who are involved at the moment know what the consequences are.
Rumours of a leadership change are becoming increasingly persistent and troubling. Reports suggest that several prominent party members are already positioning themselves as potential successors.
Keir Starmer is facing increasing calls to resign as Prime Minister, while the Deputy Leader may face criminal and civil investigation. You would expect this type of information to dominate headlines in the media, while that is not the case. Instead, the overtly left-leaning political press is obsessed with less significant stories. Why is this happening? Let's take you through this political chaos to uncover the facts.
Have a right to be safe. And yet, we've seen Muslim communities targeted, attacks on mosques, other minority communities singled out, wanton violence alongside racist rhetoric. So no, I won't shy away from calling it what it is: far-right thuggery. I guarantee you will regret taking part in this disorder, whether directly or those whipping up this action online. The police will be making arrests, individuals will be held on remand, charges will follow, and convictions.
The lack of cohesion among party members and the public caused significant doubt about the Labour Party's ability to navigate the current crisis. But that is not all. These crises are escalating, and rumours of even more shocking revelations in the coming days are only adding more fuel to an already high flame. Each successive headline is only sending more shockwaves through the party's ranks.
that leadership works. You know, this is clearly not something they thought they'd still be fighting. This is clearly something they thought they'd do first up, because it was literally the first words out of Rachel Reeves' mouth, wasn't it? When she first got up as Chancellor of the Exchequer, she said it. I remember the day very clearly. It was a Monday. We got more calls on one subject in that day from people who were disgusted, said it was the wrong moves, and you know, and none of that has gone away.
Absolutely.
And it's still on front page. You know, we're talking probably 3-4 weeks later.
Yeah, I did a radio thing on Saturday night. Every single call was about winter fuel.
Yeah.
Every single call was angry and thought it was disgusting. And Mike, this is saving them around 1.4 billion. Okay, let's talk about foreign aid, 11 billion or thereabouts.
Yeah.
People can see the math. People can see, hang on a minute, we are sending money abroad and we are not looking after our own.
And the only people
None of
who
this
say it's a
nonsense
good
about, well, if
idea.
you get pension credit, da 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 da. There are lots of vulnerable people out there, like my grandmother, for example, who died a few years ago.
While the party leadership scrambles to regain control of a situation that seems to be slipping further out of their grasp, divisions within the Labour Party are becoming increasingly visible and concerning. Keir Starmer's leadership, once seen as a unifying force, is now under immense pressure. While some MPs continue to support him, emphasising the need for stability in the government, others are openly questioning his ability to lead the party. His manifesto appears to provoke growing anger and disappointment. Rumours of leadership change are becoming increasingly persistent and troubling. Reports suggest that several prominent party members are already positioning themselves as potential successors. This internal power struggle is creating further instability at a time when the party can't afford to have such problems. In an unexpected twist, a Labour councillor recently defected to the Conservative Party. But that is not all. Over 20 Labour councillors recently left the party to register as independents. So, the Labour Party has lost control of the Broxtowe Borough Council. The members of the council in Nottinghamshire who have quit the party will now be known as the Broxtowe Independents, after what they described as 2 years of bitterness and betrayal under Sir Keir's Labour Party. The sudden exit of the group was led by council leader Milan Radulovic. Labour had only regained Broxtowe Borough Council from no overall control at the May 2023 local elections. One of the defecting councillors was also a member of Nottinghamshire County Council, meaning Labour now no longer holds the majority of opposition there. The newly formed Broxtowe Independents said with a heavy heart that they can no longer be in a party that has abandoned traditional Labour values under Sir Keir Starmer's leadership.
After Starmer abandons party values, this news huge blow to him, especially when this comes at the same time as Labour is facing huge backlash after the letter from Jess Phillips was revealed, where she rejected Oldham Council's request for a government-led inquiry into.
In a statement shared on Thursday the 20th, strong Broxtowe Independents said Labour in its current form is not the Labour we campaigned for. They criticised Sir Keir's government for stripping back the winter fuel allowance, increasing bus fares and keeping hold of the 2-child benefit cap for struggling families. All these highlight the ongoing challenges within the party. More and more people within the party are voicing their displeasure with Starmer's leadership and the direction he is taking the party. Tensions are high and political opponents are using it as ammunition for fresh attacks on Starmer and the Labour Party. The question is, how did Starmer lose the support of his party members so quickly, just a few months after convincingly winning the election? Well, you can look at certain missteps since he took over at Westminster. For instance, Labour's promise to scrap tuition fees was a core part of its manifestos in the 2017 and 2019 elections. But this wasn't just a zombie policy Keir Starmer forgot to get rid of. He made it part of one of his key pledges while running to be leader in 2020. Then he promised again in the weeks leading to the elections. However, Starmer has done a complete U-turn on this promise. Instead, Labour has raised tuition fees for the next academic calendar. But that is only one example. Pensioners are not left out of this shocking trail of broken promises. The decision to cut winter fuel payments to pensioners has become one of the most talked about issues in the UK since Starmer became Prime Minister. However, most of that discourse has been filled with criticism. Frankly, it is one of the decisions that cost Labour in the next elections. As if that wasn't enough, Labour promised to reduce energy bills, with a specific pledge to cut bills by PS 100 per household. Instead, through new green taxes or policies, energy costs have increased, directly contradicting their promise. As of December 31, 2024, households are facing a PS 70 increase in their energy bills, with further rises anticipated in the spring. It comes after the Labour government failed to confirm its commitment to the PS 300 reduction pledge in August. When questioned, officials failed to provide assurances that this target would be met.
Political correspondent Kemlyn Davis is with me now. So Kemlyn, first of all, the Chancellor Rachel Reeves has been under some pressure over this.
Yes, she announced last month, didn't she, that from this autumn, only pensioners on pension credit or other means-tested benefits would get this money, between £100 and £300. This had been something that all pensioners received, but the UK government said that in light of the tough financial situation at the moment, these payments needed to be targeted at those most in need. But there has been criticism of this from opposition parties and others, including the Older People's Commissioner for Wales. She's called for a rethink on this. And Jane Hutt, a senior Welsh Labour minister, has also warned that the decision risks pushing some pensioners into fuel poverty. This was in a written response to a question from the leader of the Welsh Conservatives in the Senedd, Andrew R.T. Davies. He has said that this decision is unforgivable.
Yeah, it's interesting, this, isn't it? All within Labour ministers, Cardiff and Westminster. What does it tell us about the relationship between the two?
Well, yes, because earlier this week we saw Sir Keir Starmer visiting Wales, meeting the new Welsh First Minister, Lyned Morgan. Lots of smiles, lots of warm words, weren't there, about resetting the relationship now between the Welsh and UK governments.
Quote, "How do Labour think anyone will ever believe their promises again? They may as well go without a manifesto at the next election. Everyone knows anything in there won't be worth the paper it is written on."
I had a 80-year-old constituent come up to me in the marketplace of Boston, shake my hand and burst into tears of genuine fear as to whether or not she would last the winter. So that's just the reality. And what someone like Mr. McTurnett is trying to do is to do what they do, which is to try and suppress people talking about the stuff, because the truth is uncomfortable and the truth hurts. And this is an absolutely shameful policy. We've talked about it. So, you've got the chaos of that. You've got the much delayed budget, which is now clearly it's delaying investment decisions. You've got the Qatari Investment Authority, I see today.
The consequence of these failed promises is that Starmer has put his future and that of the Labour Party in serious jeopardy. With each passing day, Starmer's leadership style comes under scrutiny and his chances to retain the control of the party become slimmer. The British public feels betrayed and is inclined to turn their backs on the party in future elections. In addition, Starmer's reputation as an efficient and incorruptible leader has also taken a hit following alleged missteps, including his awkward handling of gifts from donors and internal conflicts within Downing Street, which led to the resignation of his Chief of Staff, Sue Gray. While mainstream media may try to play down the challenges of his administration and the continued decline of his popularity, the fact remains that Starmer received more gifts than any MP in 5 years, raising more questions about his credibility. What do you think of Keir Starmer's leadership of the Labour Party? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.